Exam season is a stressful time for everyone involved. Teachers are worrying whether their students will get the grades they want, students are feeling the pressure to perform, and parents are desperate for their children to shine and succeed. Imagine we're talking about a student who requires additional support during their exam. Perhaps they have a visual impairment. That could add an extra layer of stress. So what can we do to level the playing field and ensure that they get the support that they need? Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and this video is going to give you everything you need to know about scribing during an exam. What it is, what to expect, who you might be supporting, and all the important do's and don'ts. So what is a scribe? A scribe is a responsible adult who types or writes a student's dictated answers during an exam. Their role is to assist the student throughout the exam by writing exactly what they ask them to and reading out any questions on the exam that they would like help with. They are not there to explain, prompt, assist, or offer advice to the student in any way. If a scribe were to offer advice to a student during an exam, this would be deemed as malpractice and could result in the student being disqualified from the exam. So in what circumstances would a scribe be necessary? Students may need a scribe for many different reasons. They may have an EHCP, Education, Health and Care Plan in England, an IDP, Individual Development Plan in Wales, speech, language or communication needs, sensory or physical needs, social, emotional or mental health needs, or autistic spectrum disorder. The educational setting they belong to must collect specialist evidence confirming the student's disability or requirement of a scribe, and forms will be completed by the SENCO before the exam is due to be completed to ensure that a scribe can be in place. So some do's and don'ts. The role of a scribe can look like a very simple one, but it's crucial to follow the guidelines set out by the JCQ, the Joint Council of Qualifications, to avoid malpractice. So what are the do's and don'ts of scribing for an exam? It's important to remember, unless there have been special instructions, the scribe will not at any time be allowed to prompt the candidate in any way by gesture, hesitation, speech, or through written words. If you do this, the student could be disqualified from the exam. The scribe is only permitted to read exactly what they are asked to read by the student. For example, if the student needs the same paragraph to be read repeatedly, if they want you to read page 1 and then page 3 but not page 2, or if they only want to read one paragraph of a question, this is what you must do. Do not be tempted to prompt the student or offer hints to make sure they've read everything on the paper, even if you notice they've missed something that could be important. You're not allowed to draw graphs or diagrams, except in special circumstances. If you do, you'll be given advance notice and, if necessary, guidance, although the student may ask you to label these. Any scribing support that you offer must be done within the allocated time frame, not once the exam is finished. This includes reading back any answers that you've written for the students or making any corrections to their answers. Pens must go down at the end of the exam, even if you're not the student. You are also not permitted to give any factual help or offer suggestions to the student if you're scribing. For example, if the student is completing an English exam and they're struggling to think of the right word, giving them options of words which could work would be malpractice. Advise on which questions to do, the order they should be done, or when to move on to the next one. If they miss any questions or have misunderstood them, you have to let them work this out for themselves. Assist with any arithmetic or maths problems. If a student is struggling with the answer on their maths GCSE, you can't work the answer out yourself or use a calculator in any other way than what the student has asked for. I'm going to read a question now and show you what not to do. Question number 1. Who is the current King of England? A. Charles I, B. William, C. Charles III, or D. SpongeBob SquarePants? I made it obvious that SpongeBob was a silly answer. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but you cannot indicate either way if a question is right or wrong. Some GCSE exams can be over 2 hours in exam conditions, so you are entitled to a short break from reading or writing for the student. Also, should the student need to leave the room and they have the permission to do so, you must accompany them at all times to make sure that no malpractice is taking place. For extra guidance about exam conditions and how to invigilate them correctly, watch our video on exam invigilators, and whilst you're there, like, subscribe and click on the bell to keep seeing more from My Progression. Finally, as a scribe, you are responsible for checking all of the students' details before submitting the exam. These include the student's name, title of the paper, year of study, course code, date, number of answer booklets submitted, and the question numbers that they answered are correct. All of the information you need will be on a whiteboard at the front of the exam or given to you beforehand to avoid mistakes. You must also make sure that the answers to the questions have been clearly numbered and that any corrections that have been made are unambiguous. This means that any extra words or sentences are asterisked and inserted at the correct point, and that any deletions have been clearly crossed through. If you're unsure on any of those details, check with the head of centre at the earliest opportunity. Working as a scribe can certainly be a challenge, but with a passion for supporting students, a good pen, and a strong writing hand, this could be the role for you. The key is making sure that you remember all of your do's and don'ts, avoid offering assistance, advice, or prompts to your students, only read or write exactly what you're asked to, and make sure your pen goes down as soon as the exam is finished. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and if you found this video helpful, then check out the rest of our channel on working in education. And let's keep your career in motion.